G'day everyone, this is Mack, your Quantum Odyssey tour guide. I wish you the best for your wonderful Mother's Day. Just came back from a family reunion. This past week will be an exciting one for Quantum Odyssey, as it has been finally ported over to Mack, which is my namesake, but I don't use Mack, and it has been extensively tested for Steam Deck verification, the green checkmark, though technically Steam Deck is just Linux. I apologize that I'm not able to deliver the video on this Friday in the conclusion of Earth Day because I have not been able to finish the script and I'm not sure if that video will be successful. Fortunately, I will still be actively involved in my free time to focus on quantum science, despite that I'm quite early in my software engineering position, so this is probably the reason why I'm not able to finish the script. The picture below is something that is directly related to the quantum and industry in general, and it is a gift I have provided to my mom and my extended family. My grandpa, my uncle. So there are some exciting news. So here's the summary. The briefing is that offline play and the port to Mac and Linux is complete. Secondly, the game content is 99 complete, so close, but yet so far. So think of it as, let's say, it's a cube, and like you say, like this cube is 99% complete, 99% pure. Well, let's say there is a smaller cube, 1/5 the size in each dimension. So 1/5, let's say, the radius, and that, taking away like that 1/5 size cube, would just turn like 100% of a cube to 99% of a cube. That's how to visualize 99%. And that was done over 56 patches, so 56 patches over 1 annum of analytics to test the players and whether like there are any parts that are confusing for them. The bugs has been extensively hunted and fixed, but the updates still provide an opportunity to perform a bug hunt. And the most important thing is an opportunity to reset. So if you have completed the challenges and the campaign, you are able to reset and then try the new set, which is to be due for the full release. We will see the game being translated over 12 languages, so please volunteer and help Quark Interactive be globally accessible. By the way, Quarks Interactive is Romanian. So now let's demo our interactive textbook. So let's do the demo. So here is the okay, so let's set up our demo over there. So on the 6th, here is the official description of the big update, the update you have been waiting for. So Mac OS fully deployed, offline mode fully deployed, Steam Deck support, getting the check mark, as long as some subtle performance UI and gameplay system updates. Okay, so let's start our Quantum Odyssey. So I'm showing you the updates. Okay, update is required. I don't know what happened. Okay, and then there's where I'm gonna show. Finalizing, so at 100%. Huh. Okay, now the update after several minutes is coming. Okay, it's coming now.
To see a world in a grain of sand and a heaven in a wild flower. Hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. by codes embraced, quantum's secrets grand. Here, Axiom's assembly welcomes thee to stand. For in a grain of sand lies a universe unplanned. Under your sentient hand, world shape at your command.
Okay, so we have again the campaign mode, the community mode, which is the encyclopedia, sandbox settings over there. Okay, so we have the campaign, we have the community, which is one. So okay, so once again we have the campaign. We have the. So once again we have the campaign, which is originally called Descent. Community. So that is then we have the play ranked over there. So let's see the community challenges. So we did see a few more challenges, roughly 28 or so. Achievements, leaderboard. So remember Molly Ignatius, that babe which I have unlocked her vault. She's still in third place, but there's now a qubit destroyer, the field. So there's another active member in this community as well. Okay, so this concludes our demo. As of now, once again, we have been seeing more and more community challenges, and we didn't see any new electrons, but the existing electrons has been revised, so they will be more intuitive and more relevant to the goal of quantum computing education. This concludes our demo. So we will now discuss about the origins and traditions of Mother's Day. Like daylight saving time, Mother's Day is celebrated at different times of the day every year. So in Australia, New Zealand, US and Canada, Mother's Day is celebrated on the second Sunday of every May. This is exactly the nature of Mother's Day that was first celebrated in 1908 by Anna Jarvis of the US. And many countries still model their Mother's Day on the US edition. Analogues of the Mother's Day include the revering of Virgin Mary. Much like the last DST video which I have constructed, which is obviously a rather rushed demo, the DST period differs per country, and not only that, but also per specific region in a country. And it is often defined in terms of the particular occurrence of the day of the week of a given month, and thus it is movable, much like Easter or Chinese New Year. Once again, the introductory picture are a group of healing crystals, which includes the real ruby, which is based on aluminum, and chromium, sapphire, which is the other type of corundum, and emerald, which is the most famous variation of beryl we know of. And they're only for $8 a piece. But most importantly, it is paramount to maintain a healthy relationship with your family, with which no healing stone or wealth can substitute. So this is a map of all the this is the map of the time zones across the world, including those of Oceania, which there will be an Oceanian entry in the upcoming World Cup. Oceania is obviously the smallest of the 6 confederations. And we can see the Kiribati, which is actually pronounced Kiribati. The dark colors over there are those under DST, which is the semi-annual hassle of changing clocks around the car, your kitchen appliances, and your wall clocks, while the light regions are those without DST, or technically speaking, the semi-annual change. Those in less common colors, like orange, such as India, these are offset by half integer multiples of an hour. These are less common as well. Newfoundland is another example. Nepal is to the quarter of an hour. But there has been an update. So, can you spot the difference? I'll give you 10 seconds for that. Okay, so there is indeed a difference. So, one Canadian province has updated their DST status. So if you're curious, so this is the map of the regions, not just countries, regions which are observed daylight saving time. And the cyan region is the North American region, which is defined as the second Sunday of March, and that region have a longer summertime window than European regions. And now British Columbia has exited the daylight saving time, but technically you can say only in technicality, because British Columbia is now under permanent Pacific Daylight Time. Saskatchewan, on the other hand, has been out of DST, or in the same nature, summertime has won, but that was way back in 1966, and only for the eastern part. The western part, all of these towns and regions followed suit to match the eastern portion until on the 30th April 1972, which will be their final spring forward. Saskatchewan also maintained their stance to stay with permanent summertime in 2011, while others are still under the semi-annual hassle like what the British Columbia was before. And also British Columbia is the home of D-Wave qubits, and it already had its final spring forward on March the 8th, the very International Women's Day. We will not see British Columbia anywhere fall back again on the 1st of November. Our final topic about that would be about the crystals and identity. So, the imagery of crystals, of course, you may think of it as healing in chakras, but the imagery of crystals are not limited to just that of wellness products and objects of great beauty and reverence. Underneath, the crystals and their colors are an interplay between quantum mechanical effects that determine the chemical and physical properties. It is hard to consider where each of these 80 or so elements came from. For example, the coltan, which provides the tantalum, which is used for high-tech electronics like laptops, desktops, smartphones, of course, capacitors, and the many uses of these elements, ranging from the constituents of life includes carbon, calcium, potassium, phosphorus, and of course iron. The many uses of these elements, ranging from like the steels that we use and the refractory metals, which are the transition metals, which is what every day we know of, as well as the gallium used for the blue LED, and as well as the ultra high tech we use, including our screens of our very smartphones and the magnets of our headphones, which involve cerium, neodymium, and of course the MRI scans we use using the very unique properties unique to only gadolinium and not any of these rare earth metals, which is not that rare in terms of raw abundance, but it's really hard to separate and still requires some knowledge of quantum and chemical properties to separate, and that is what makes it rare. They all once came from a crystal, like the examples we have saw. The examples which are featured in this special video. The very same elements present in these high-tech are the key elements which give these healing crystals their unique properties and their unique colors. For example, the chromium in ruby and emerald. And in particular, the D-shell electrons and unpaired electrons are what makes these gemstones to exhibit these wide arrays of colors and their characteristic physical properties. And spiritual ones as well. Maybe you can say like the manganese that we are present in military grade hardware might have the same source rhodochrosite. So the element that we are particularly in attention to is manganese, and that is in the same group as technetium, which is unfortunately one of my favorite elements. I wish I could get technetium, but for some damn reason, the weak interaction, it is radioactive, and it is that hole in the periodic table. So today we are only dealing with manganese, the purple element. So the center is the manganese cube and manganese chips of high purity. You can think of the imagery of that, the masculine nature of an earth mover, a rock crusher, and then the filtration plant, which provides us the pure water we can drink. Nutrition guidelines like nuts and fruits containing manganese, and the feminine imagery of rhodochrosite, which is manganese in the 2+ oxidation state, called manganese. I bet manganic or permanganic is the manganese that is used to purify water. While metallic manganese, that is alloy of steel, the most common metal that we are, let's say, known in pop culture, is for use of rock crushers. So Same element, but completely different imagery. But it all once came from an ore, which could be the feminine imagery of rhodochrosite, but more importantly, like the major source of manganese is a more duller ore. So, and here is another one, beryllium, the fourth element, and one of the three elements, light elements, that are not really easy to find. They're mostly created through cosmic ray spalations. On the top left is beryllium metal. Beryllium, the name beryllium actually comes from burrow and not the vice versa. These two images are burrow, emerald hexes, and the other one, the burrow, is actually a primary ore of beryllium. The other one, which is probably the most common variation, and what pure burrow looks like, chemically pure burrow, is called gauchionite. And gauchionite is not a so popular gem. On the bottom row are applications of beryllium. This is a beryllium target for nuclear applications. Beryllium is used as a structural metal, even though it is alkaline earth, which is the row of reactive metals on the left side of the periodic table. And, of course, the James Webb Space Telescope, launched on Christmas Day, and was like a much delayed collaboration of NASA, ESA, and Canadian Space Agency. These hex mirrors are coated with gold for infrared reflectance. So gold is now a technological metal, as well as, let's say, the cultural king of metals. And to maintain the stiffness and lightweight nature of these hexes, it is made out of beryllium. Okay, so I wish you all enjoyed this very, very special video, and this is actually also my 300 subscriber special. So yay! Thank you very much for supporting this channel and keeping it growing, even though I'm working full time. The support that you have given to me will ensure that more of these Quantum Odyssey and the Khan Academy style videos will come in the future. The GIC Global Industry Challenge, I will be returning to that. I will be remaking the 50 in the anticipation of both the soccer, football of 2026 FIFA World Cup, and of course, let's say, I would say, Omega Day, or a very, very special Independence Day. So, cheers everyone.